Uh, this is the hardest video I'm going to be doing for the channel, to be honest. This hurts. This hurts, this video. I wasn't even sure if I was going to wear my Leafs jersey or if I was going to wear a black t-shirt, which, by the way, I have underneath here. But you know what? I support this team. I've supported it since I was the age of 12. I've watched all the ups and downs. I've watched a lot of downs more than ups. But you know what? I'm going to wear this jersey right here. I know you can't see the logo, but you know what it looks like. Anyway, I'm going to wear this jersey, and this is what it's all about. This is what you got to do. You got to go down with the team, and that's how it is. So, you know what? With that, welcome everyone back to the channel. This is Ryan from Seaway Sports Lounge. And, well, that's it. The season is over. The season's done. The Maple Leafs lost tonight. They lost in 5 games to the Florida Panthers. Ugh, that bothers me to no end. I thought they could beat this team. I thought this team, they had a 1.5 lines maybe, and a defense core that I thought Toronto could roll right through. And well, Bob, well, you never know who he was going to be. But you know what? That didn't happen. The Maple Leafs, we all saw what happened. But anyway, we're going to go through the video. I'm going to talk through the game quick. I'm going to give my takeaways, and I'm going to take my takeaways on the season and maybe potentially where they're going to go soon enough. So with that, let's just get right into it. So 3-2 in overtime, game 5 at home. So things were feeling a little better. Game 4 they won. They took it back to Toronto. Many fans thought, okay, you never know what might happen. But unfortunately, just they ran out of runway. Toronto tried their best tonight. They played their hearts out to try to win this game. They were in Florida's end all kinds of times. It was actually a really good game both ways. I'll give Florida credit as well. They did give a really good push. As it says here, shots 52-44 for Toronto. That's including overtime. Toronto had so many grade A chances, especially in OT. They had 3 of them that were just lights out, should have been a goal, and it didn't happen. And of course, no power play goals. They had 2 in the beginning in the first period, and they didn't cash in on that. That was, I feel, a factor in what could have been a very different game. Penalties were pretty light. Lots of hit, about light as in what was recorded. Let me be fair. There was loads of penalties that could have been called on both sides, and they didn't do it. But playoff hockey, as they say, but we're not going to get into that right now. Toronto out hit them 63-49, 23-20 with block shots, turnovers 22-19. So those were pretty much even. As the period went on, period 1, power play goal, Aaron Ekblad, 33-31 in the first. And Carter Verhaeghe got 16-18. It was 2-0 at the end of the first. Now, Toronto played well. Both teams were playing, they were basically even. The shots were almost even in the first. They got those 2 goals. McCabe was not having a good first period, that's for sure. He got caught on a penalty, which caused the power play goal. And I believe he was on the ice with the second goal as well. And they showed him on the broadcast a little bit more. So you could tell he was frustrated with his game. Anyway, first period, pretty much, like I said, 2-0, but even shots, even play. Second period, Morgan Riley gets 7 minutes, 50 seconds. He gets his goal. Game turns around. The Maple Leafs get the building back into it. People were cheering again. Seemed to be going okay. And then in the second, the vague controversy that I'm going to talk about right now. This is going to be discussed for years to come, whether this goal counted or not. I'm pretty sure the entire internet is going to be lit up with this. It's hard to say this, but the way I looked at it, and I watched all the angles that I could. Now, I'm sure there could be another one that says otherwise. The call on the ice was no goal. Riley came in. Riley was putting one past Bob, and it went along his pad. And a couple of angles showed that it may have crossed the line. Others showed it didn't cross the line, or it was so inconclusive you couldn't tell. And like I said, some say goals, some say don't. Now, I watched the Toronto bench. The Toronto bench didn't argue the call, which turned out to be a no goal. They weren't that animated about it. So I think that they felt maybe it wasn't. Maybe the coaches saw it and they thought, well, I don't know. Again, it's going to be a call that's going to be discussed for years to come. With what I saw, and the call on the ice was no goal start. I don't know if it was a goal. I don't think it was, but I'm going to put myself out on there. Probably many Leaf fans would disagree. Don't think it was. It was not conclusive enough, but I'm going to leave it out there like that. But that kept it at 2-1. And anyway, third period rolled around. They had 20 minutes to tie it up, and sure enough, they did. So they got the goal back. They tied up the game. Now, of course, that'd put us up 3-2, but Either way, Nylander got a really nifty goal. He came right in along the one side, and he just put it right past Bob, and it was an awesome goal from John Tavares and TJ Brody. There was a lot of tense moments in that third period. I'm not going to lie. A lot of tense moments. Most people weren't sure what was going to happen, if they were even going to get another goal, because Florida put a lot of pressure. Like, they were doing a lot of snuffing out in the neutral zone, but Nylander found a way, and he got the tying goal, put the game to overtime. Then there were at least three excellent chances in overtime where Toronto could have won the game. It didn't go their way. Then they got this crazy penalty in there, but he flipped it over the glass. They called it as over the glass penalty by TJ Brody. Toronto killed it, which is great. Unfortunately, they got a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1, I think. It came into their end, and Nick Cousins put it at 15-32 into the net, and then that was it. The season's over. It's so disheartening. Honestly, the Maple Leafs played well enough to win tonight. They played a few games like that in this series. So I'm going to go into my takeaways now. This game could have been Toronto's if they would have maybe cashed in the power play, or there's all these different things you could say. They played well. They did all they could, and they just didn't get it. Just didn't go their way. That's all there is to it. The non-goal, well, like I said, that was a goal or a not a goal that will be discussed for years to come. The way I looked at it, I'm a diehard Leafs fan, and I wanted that puck to go in like anybody, but I just didn't see it go in. I saw, it fell in after, but the play was dead already, according to most people. So it was hard to not count that. I'll put it out there for me. Third, they put themselves 3-1. They were down 3-1 in the series. It's very difficult. It's almost impossible to come back from that kind of deficit. That one game 3, where they were just so lackadaisy and they didn't give any effort. That could have changed the series. There's all these moments that could have changed the series. But you know what? It doesn't matter now. They lost. They're out. They lost in 5. They're at home now. That's it. Florida moves on. So right now, I will congratulate the Florida Panthers on moving forward. They will meet the Carolina Hurricanes, and we'll see how that goes. As for the season, it hurts. I'll be upfront. It hurts. I thought this team was even better than last year's and the year before. The trades that Dubas made at the deadline, I know it sounds like a broken record from last year, but these trades I found should have made even more of a difference, but they didn't enough. They did well enough, but they just couldn't get it done. What's going to happen? I don't know. There's a number of ideas what could happen. Do you sign Dubas again to another number of years? Do you let him go? Do you let go of Keefe? Do you re-sign Matthews? Do you ask him if he wants to sign? This is going to be by far the craziest offseason in Toronto's history. So many moving parts that need to be decided between no trade clauses, who's signing what, who's going to be the GM, who's going to be the coach, whether it's the same or they all go brand new or partially brand new. Is Shanahan going to be fired? Is Shanahan going to stay? I have absolutely no idea what's about to happen in Toronto. I have thoughts of maybe what would happen, but for certainty, none. Absolutely none for me. But what I do know is that in the silver linings, as we try to do, they got out of the first round, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 when they were vastly outplayed in a number of games, and they did it. They willed themselves to the second round, and they got it done. That's a positive. That's a start. We need that. Granted, it took a while, but they got there. Their players played well. They had over a 50-win season. The season itself was great. They were in a playoff spot by December. So, you can't go wrong with that. So that's a takeaway for me. The seasonal play was fine. The playoffs, they got a little further. They got into a round, they got into 5 games into a second round. Is it progress? Yeah, I think so. I think it's progress, but questions still remain. Is the core we need? Does the core needs to change? Is the culture wrong? Is the culture right? Is the coach wrong and right? These are things that are going through my mind. It's too early to say. Of course, I'm still feeling the numbness and the pain of all this. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much more. But what I am going to say right now is, first of all, I want to thank everybody who watched the videos that were made for this series and the Tampa series. I want to say thanks to everyone who's supported our channel. It's been phenomenal. I've enjoyed making those videos. I will make them again next year amongst all the other ones we will be doing. So from the bottom of our hearts, I want to say thank you very much for watching those and supporting us. That's number 1. Number 2, Thank you, Maple Leafs, for giving us a second round. Wasn't the outcome we hoped for. If you're a supporter of any team, you move on to the next year and you learn, see where you went from. But you know what? It's an interesting time in Toronto's franchise history right now. And I cannot wait to see what happens in the offseason. I cannot wait to see where, after they sift through the debris of this season, what they're going to do. Because I don't know what they're going to do. I could speculate till I'm blue as this shirt. But guess what? It doesn't matter. They're out. Season's over. I want to say thanks to everyone who supported the channel, as I said, supported these videos I've made, all the videos we do. There's obviously more to come. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.